So here's the thing, I love YouTube. It's awesome, it's great. You can spend hours watching amazing content. Heck, you can even become a creator yourself, make videos, and possibly make this into a career, which is cool. But just because it's great, it doesn't mean that it's perfect. Like you're telling me we've been living without the dislike counter for almost 3 years? That's exactly what I mean. YouTube has a history of removing great features, adding new ones that we've never asked for, pumping too many ads into videos, or even facing a giant bot problem. Let's go over some of the things that YouTube needs to fix and improve, and I swear, if YouTube does this, it would make the platform so much better. Okay, since we already mentioned it, let's talk about the dislike counter. So on the official YouTube blog where they announced this change, they said, quote, "We experimented with the dislike button to see whether or not changes would help better protect our creators from harassment and reduce dislike attacks, where people work to drive up the number of dislikes on creators' videos." So as they stated, they then did the so-called dislike counter removal experiment and found out the following. In short, our experiment data showed a reduction in dislike attacking behavior. We also heard directly from smaller creators and those just getting started that they are unfairly targeted by this behavior, and our experiment confirmed that this does occur at a higher proportion on smaller channels. All right, so in a way, I can understand what YouTube is doing. It's trying to help creators that are targeted by, let's call them haters. But here's the thing, the dislikes are still visible to creators on the YouTube Studio app from which you upload videos, check your analytics, etc. Seriously, the like to dislike ratio is literally shown and can be easily compared next to every upload. So that's number one. And number two, isn't it fair to say that the whole dislike thing is an issue of YouTube's recommendation system? Like if I get fed a video via the YouTube homepage that I clearly didn't like, then maybe I'll click on it and just click dislike if I didn't like it, right? How often do these targeted creator attacks really happen? I'm sure many would agree that the removal of the dislike counter objectively makes the whole YouTube platform worse for everyone. It makes it harder for viewers to know if the video is good or worth watching. Take people who watch tutorials, or even perhaps folks who watch maybe, I don't know, financial advice videos, or even videos that might contain scams or otherwise. One of the easiest ways to tell if the video isn't good or that, something is wrong with it is to look at the like to dislike ratio. But since you hit that, well, now I have to go into the comments and hope that someone wrote something about it. And even then, the comments might be from bots telling how good the video is. Anyway, I feel like there's a bigger reason that YouTube isn't telling us for why they removed the dislike counter. Perhaps, and I'm only speculating, the type of videos that used to get dislikes now get disliked less. And as a result, in the end, the platform gets more ad revenue, even if it's from the content that people don't necessarily like or find useful. Anyway, I do hope that YouTube does add the dislike counter back eventually, since it would be greatly appreciated. Or heck, bring back the 5-star rating system from old YouTube, as it would add even more complexity to what is a quality video. Because at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. The quality of content. We came here on YouTube to watch good videos and not bad videos. Of course, that will always be subjective, but I feel like if you were to watch more good videos, then it's more likely that you'll stay on this platform long term. But you know what's the opposite of long term? Short term. YouTube Shorts. That was a terrible transition. Listen, shorts are in a way pretty cool. Shorts content has gotten better and better with time. Like, I feel like my shorts feed at least is filled with passionate creators who do spend a lot of time crafting the perfect short video. However, there's a double-edged sword with short content, as it also leads to me sometimes spending a bit too much time on YouTube. And it could be even worse for kids, as they can indulge into this stuff for hours and hours. But their addictive nature aside, why did YouTube even add shorts? Some say it's to compete with TikTok or Instagram Reels. Well, from doing research on this, it's very clear, as YouTube has stated many times that they follow and try to feed exactly what the audience wants. So the reason why YouTube Shorts are becoming so popular is because, well, people in the world as a whole in the past few years have started to watch more and more short video content. And again, this could be related to them being so addictive. But all I ask from YouTube is very simple. simple. Please have an option to disable or hide shorts from the YouTube interface. That way it would disappear from the desktop version as well as mobile. It would help viewers who get easily addicted to shorts, but maybe not long-form videos, to have an overall healthier time on YouTube in general. Maybe you could even set a timer for a day or two to hide shorts elements so it's not gone forever. And here's me from the future to tell you that YouTube did just add the option to show fewer shorts, though this only removes them for a short period of time, and from what I can gather, it only does this on the mobile app. I still wish that you could remove them permanently, or like I said, hide shorts for a selected number of days, but I guess this is better than nothing, right? But you know what's also never gonna disappear? The battle between YouTube and adblock devs that has been going on since like the medieval time. No, seriously, in 100 years, history books will probably feature this adblock war. However, I think there's a way to stop it. Yes, I think there's a compromise to be made that can save everyone. Mostly. So without adblock, using YouTube can be, quite honestly, a sad experience. You turn one video, you get an ad, then 10 minutes in, you get another ad, and then the video ends, you get another ad. But my point is, YouTube is literally infested with ads if you don't have YouTube Premium. So great, let's get YouTube Premium. Oh my lord, it costs that much. Gabe Newell once said, the easiest way to stop piracy is not by putting anti-piracy technology to work, it's giving those people a service that's better than what they're receiving from pirates. So how does this apply to YouTube? Well, obviously we can't just give out YouTube Premium for free, duh. But at the very least, I propose to split the YouTube Premium subscription into 3 tiers: Core, Standard, and Ultimate. Core could include the absolute basic things like no ads. Then Standard would build on it with features like smart downloads and background playback. Lastly, Ultimate could then top it off with additions like YouTube Music, offline videos, premium video quality, and early access to upcoming features. Anyway, I think more people would be happy to get YouTube Premium if it didn't cost so much, considering that most people might not even use all of the available features. Speaking of features, I kind of miss the ways YouTubers could connect with their audience on old YouTube. Because if you're from the times when dinosaurs still roamed around on Earth, all right, like 2006 maybe wasn't that long ago, but if you used the old YouTube back in the day, then you might remember features such as the ability to directly message a YouTuber, which was pretty nice. Instead, now you have to use external tools or platforms in order to have that deeper connection with your viewers. But forget YouTube DMs. What about YouTube channel comments? I loved how you could leave a comment on a channel as a whole, and there would be a community of viewers discussing that channel's content, excitement, and etc. I could even imagine a modern version of this where instead of a YouTuber having to open their own channel subreddit, it could be a more integrated part of their channel with threads, again, maybe viewers discussing the videos they'd like to see or the content in general and things like that. Okay, so I swear someone at YouTube is messing with me because they have just announced a communities feature, which, just like I said, would let your subscribers discuss your content. I honestly, I love this and I can't wait for this to come out, and I guess we can scratch this problem off the list. You were probably also thinking, why every time I visit a new website, I get these cookie consent pop-up messages? And why does every darn website I want to sign up for asks for my private data? Anyway, that's why I use Surfshark. I tend to think of Surfshark as this Swiss Army knife for the internet, since it has so many tools to make the browsing better and safer, like the cookie pop-up blocker feature that gets rid of those cookie consent messages. Bye-bye. Or the alternative ID tool that lets me generate personas, emails, or phone numbers so I can stay more private when creating accounts or trying to sell my used copy of NBA 2K24 on Craigslist. Why did I even buy this? Anyway, on top of that, Surfshark of course has its famous VPN tool, an antivirus, alert, and search. See, I really did say that. It's a literal Swiss Army knife. But unlike a real knife, it won't cut you, and it will only set you back less than $250 a month if you use our special code Academy, or alternatively use the link in the description below this video. Now, back to the content we're discussing. Now, around 2 years ago, YouTube faced a lot of backlash for its huge bot problem on the platform. You had bots telling people to go click this link or that link. It got so bad that YouTube doesn't allow people to post links in the comments anymore. On Shorts, it's even more strict, as even creators can't even link anything themselves on the comments either. So problem solved, right? Wrong. Okay, so this right here is your channel customization menu. And in here, you can actually add links to whatever you want, be it a Facebook page, Instagram page, or a Discord server, or whatever. So because of that, what bots and scammers tend to do instead now is just to tell people to go check out their channel and click the link there. And by the way, I made a fresh account on YouTube, and YouTube straight up allowed me to add links to whatever I wanted. This is a red flag. There must be some kind of requirement that you need maybe an X amount of subscribers or views to be able to add links to your channel. Bots are now also uploading disturbing videos and similarly adding suspicious links there. YouTube bot detection systems have gotten better since like 2 or 3 years ago, but there's still a lot of room for improvement. All right, let's tackle the monster now. The beast. The almighty YouTube algorithm. For the most part, I'm pretty satisfied with the videos the algorithm feeds me on YouTube. The algorithm is probably, and maybe even literally, the reason why YouTube is the biggest video platform and even beating out Netflix on devices like TVs. It dynamically adjusts to your interests and tries to give you videos that vary in topics and lengths and all that. But it doesn't mean that it can get stale sometimes. My feed, of course, is mostly filled with tech stuff from many cool creators, but sometimes I do get videos of a guy cleaning out people's houses, which are so satisfying to watch. And then I realized that, hey, you know what? Maybe there's more things I'd love to watch in YouTubers and creators that, do exist out there, but the algorithm never shows me them. So an option of resetting the algorithm would be great. But hey, Mr. Surfshark guy, can't you already do that by clearing out your watch history or making a new account? Yeah, well, while it does kind of work, eventually you will get fed videos that you've already seen on your main account or made YouTube forget that you've seen them. Now, in fairness, YouTube did introduce these tags or categories at the top of the recommended videos, homepage to give you options to view more specific content. But the problem is it's sometimes too vague, like music or gaming. Oh, and there's so many tags here that it's a bit overwhelming. I'd prefer just an option, show me see new option, just that gives me these non-watch history, already seen content affected videos. Okay, so these are the things that I'd love YouTube to improve or add. And listen, I'm only pointing out these criticisms and giving feedback because, as I've said in the intro of this video, I simply love YouTube and I want this platform to become better. I also didn't mention a lot of the smaller things as well. How about a comment spoiler hider? Some top comments can literally spoil the whole video for you. Or how about an option to hide clickbaity titles so I'm not tricked into watching a video I didn't need to watch, or have creators feel like they need to be deceptive in their titles and thumbnails to get clicks. Oh, and perhaps an option to provide YouTube with less data since they collect so much of it, and just so we can watch videos. As YouTube has been getting bigger and bigger, it feels like there was a slow shift into YouTube becoming perhaps less honest with its users in its decision making and just becoming more corporate in general. Again, the dislike counter removal is something I can't understand, and I feel like there's something deeper going on. So YouTube becoming more transparent is something that I would really appreciate. By the way, I was also 100% transparent about my thoughts on PC gaming. Yeah, like PC gaming is awesome, but it does have a lot of flaws. So here's a video right here of me discussing common PC problems. I'll see you in that video, and bye for now.